What's happening, guys? In my previous breakdown video of the Amazing Spider-Man 2 behind the scenes footage, I've discussed this particular shot and I've mentioned that this might be the SWAT team or the security guards, Oscorp security guards, trying to stop Osborn, who just ambushed Oscorp. As we've seen in the trailer, this particular shot, Harry approaches the Oscorp on his glider and there are bullet holes in the windows, so he probably shot them. Now I think that you guys might need a better explanation, and I've actually came up with a theory, my theory, which is why exactly Harry ambushes Oscorp and will he actually end up in the Ravencroft. Now the second question is, a lot of people actually think that the Amazing Spider-Man 2 is going to end with Harry Osborn at Ravencroft. He's placed in Ravencroft, in a super villain asylum. Ravencroft belongs to Oscorp and it's a sort of an experimental prison where Oscorp experiment on the prisoners, actually all the villains. They do some nasty experiments with them. So at first I thought that it doesn't really make sense why Harry should end up at Ravencroft after Spidey defeats him during the clock tower scene. I mean, if Ravencroft is part of Oscorp, why would the company place him actually Norman Osborn's son in Ravencroft, right? But then I thought about another possible thing, why Harry might end up at Ravencroft and why he actually ambushes Oscorp. You know, if we sum up all the set pictures, all the rumors, all the information, the leaked storyboards and a lot of information together, we can say for sure that Harry Osborn will be presented as this sort of a playboy guy, not really a serious type of guy. He's relentless, he's not being responsible really. The storyboards reveal that he's driving a car, sort of a Ferrari or a similar supercar, like crazy. Basically he's driving it not very carefully, and this is just one scene which indicates that he is in fact a very irresponsible young man. So my theory is that, you know, Norman Osborn will fake his death at some point. I think we all can agree that Norman Osborn is a master of faking his death and he doesn't really die for real. And at one point Norman will die in a movie. Well, die, you know, not really die. He will fake his death. Oscorp will need a new head, a new CEO of the company. And of course Harry Osborn will come into the scene and he will say, hey, I'm Harry Osborn, I'm the son of Norman Osborn, I would like to be the, I should be the CEO of the company, you know, I should be the boss here. And somebody, perhaps Donald Mencken, Norman Osborn's personal assistant, who is actually in charge of everything and who might be one of the few who knows that Norman is actually alive, he just faked his death, might tell Harry, hey listen, you are way too young, you are way too irresponsible, you are very, you know, very impulsive and you shouldn't really be the head of the company, just wait a couple of years. I mean, there was a Daily Bugle article where it was mentioned that Harry, instead of studying, has been spotted with a bunch of Playboy models, and Donald Mencken makes an excuse basically telling that, well, Harry is a good boy. You see, Harry is treated like a sort of a boy. Now sum up this rejection. Harry Osborn is rejected, he's not the, he won't take the position of his father, he won't be the CEO of Oscorp, and sum up with the death of his father. Obviously Harry thinks that Norman died, which isn't the case, Norman faked his death. Now sum up these two events, it's a really huge psychological trauma, a huge punch for Harry Osborn, and at this point he might think that, you know, whatever, I will take things, I will do things myself, and he goes down to the chamber and he takes Goblin's armor, and from this point Harry Osborn thinks that he will rule the Oscorp actually on himself. He doesn't need Mencken, he doesn't need anyone else, and he takes the Goblin's armor and actually before going for Spidey he ambushes Oscorp. He shoots them up, sort of, hey, look at me, I'm powerful now, I'm not a little kid who's irresponsible, I'm freaking Goblin Jr. now, you should be afraid of me. And therefore he shuts the windows. Electro, originally we do know that Electro isn't just an accident, Max Dillon's an accident, there is a purpose. Oscorp's experiment, Max Dillon falls into the chamber, and I think originally Norman Osborn, perhaps he wanted to use Electro for different reasons. Electro was created for different reasons. I can bring Sinister Six here, but it's very unlikely, but maybe Norman already had plans, but Harry Osborn, he uses Electro for his own purposes. He brainwashed him, and now he's sort of a Roger. He's against his father's company, he's against everyone, and he uses Electro as his teammate to beat Spidey. Sort of, he uses Electro, Oscorp's weapon, as his own weapon. Now, what do you guys think? Do you think that's the reason why Harry attacks Oscorp? His father died, that's one thing, it's a huge trauma, and later on, basically Mencken or whoever else tells that, Harry, you won't be in charge of things here, you're way too responsible, you know. And these two things actually lead to Harry taking this serum, and the storyboards actually reveal that Mencken is a witness of this whole transformation. He runs to the security button, but it's too late when Harry takes the serum. So these two events will actually lead to Harry becoming Goblin. He wants to... He's a very similar... If this theory turns out to be true, he's a very similar... he has a very similar motives to Electro. Electro, nobody knows him, nobody notices him during his whole life, he's a nobody, and he wants to prove anyone that he's now godlike. And Harry Osborn, he's a very responsible, nobody takes him serious, and his father dies, and after his father's death he's a nobody. Well, they don't want him the CEO of the company, therefore this still Spidey and Harry basically talk, and you see there's alcohol, and Harry drinks a lot after his father's death. And now he wants to take things seriously, he wants everyone to be afraid of him, he wants to be the leader, he wants to be the CEO, he wants to basically, you know, maybe killing Spider-Man, killing Gwen is his sort of his first step towards showing everyone that he is Osborn. He is Osborn, everyone should be afraid of Osborns. Of course, Peter is his friend, and you know, this just the serum makes him even more crazier. The post-traumatic disorder, and combine it with Goblin serum, it made him completely insane. He's not even sure what he's doing at this point. So if he's not killed by Spider-Man, who just lost Gwen, then he's placed in Ravencroft, and it makes complete sense since he went against his father's company, and now this is the punishment, he's placed in the Ravencroft. So yeah, thanks for watching, let me know what you guys think, and I'm out for now.